Born and raised in Los Angeles, Stefanie Michaela discovered her love for music at the age of 2. But as she grew, so did her passion for singing and songwriting, and with a voice that earned the nickname the littlest girl with the biggest voice in her own hometown. Now, with a blend of soulful pop melodies and heartfelt lyrics, Stefanie's music tells the story of her journey, one marked by resilience, perseverance, and unwavering determination. Now, despite her early successes, Stefanie faced setbacks in her journey, but a chance opportunity reignited her passion for music, prompting her to return to the studio with a renewed determination. Now, Stefanie is turning a new page. Armed with the support of her family and a newfound sense of purpose, she is once again writing and recording music. And she is now ready to release her EP, Turning Pages, this year. So let's welcome pop R&B singer-songwriter Stefanie Michaela to the show. Welcome, Stefanie.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. This is so wonderful.
Well,
How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
Great.
And it's great to have you on the show today. Now,
Great.
when did you fall in love with music?
Oh my goodness. I have been singing literally since I could speak. I would be in the car with my parents. I remember driving, looking out the window, kind of humming to myself and coming up with my own little tunes and songs and wanting to share them with my parents. And it kind of just started, when I was little, and it just grew and grew and grew into being my forever passion.
Well, do you come from a musical family?
Slightly, I would say, like, my dad, he could sing. My mom is like obsessed with harmony. So my dad can carry a tune. My mom loves harmony, so she tries. She would give anything to just get out there and wah. My sister's more of like the backup dancer to my singing. So we were always like a somewhat kind of musical family. They tried, but I was the one who wanted to go full force.
Well,
So,
as growing up, who were your musical influences and have those influences changed?
you know what? I always was into the very emotional singers. Mariah Carey was my top pick, Vanessa Williams, Whitney Houston, Babyface, Boys to Men. I just really felt that feeling in their voices, and I could hear what they were singing about. And I loved all their love songs. I've always been really into love songs. It just relationships and just very emotional sounding, songs. So that's kind of where it all evolved into that kind of sound because of those influences. I feel like I've carried that through ever since I was little, for sure.
Now, I also understand that you went to a musical boarding school and then also
I
to
did.
a theater academy. Did I get that right?
Yeah. Yeah. I went to Idlewild Arts Academy for my senior year of high school because I wound up going to a summer program there, fell in love with the program, and then I realized I could actually possibly go to school there. So my parents jumped on that. They had me audition, and it was amazing. It totally prepped me for moving on to college. And what they did in this program was amazing. You'd have all day, you'd have your academics, and then the second half of the day was dancing, singing, acting. It was a lot of work, but if you're driven, this is what you got to do, right? So that prepped me into going to Boston Conservatory. I didn't stay all the way. I wound up coming home. That's part of my story as well. However, it created this cool, background story of where I came from. I did a lot of musical theater, and which ties into why I do sing the way I sing in terms of my tone and the clarity. I like to be able to hear what people are singing about. So musical theater really helped me in that way, actually,
Well,
which is
I
which is
I
pretty
was
interesting.
I dived into your bio,
Yeah.
but I understand that there's a much bigger story that's not actually printed. And so I
Right.
understand that you faced some
Hmm.
setbacks in your journey.
I did.
But then a chance opportunity reignited your passion for music. What
Hmm.
happened?
I really, I've been through a lot in the music industry, and I really thought when I was younger, this was my path. I was going to do musical theater. I was going to move to New York. I thought that's what I was going to do. A few things got in the way, decided to move back home and go for a pop and work in the studio and start, continue to write all my own stuff and just kind of go in that whole direction. And yeah, there were some setbacks in that, and I decided to take a step back and go, you know what? Maybe I'll just put this on the back burner, and I'm just gonna just kind of go back to college, get a degree in communications. So I did that, and I wound up working at a restaurant as a server and a bartender, which was really fun for my personality. Like, I love to chat with people, meet people. I met a ton of people in the music business, which led me into a lot of different situations too, you know, including all the setbacks and things. It's part of the story. And so I pushed it aside and started a family. So grateful. And a couple of years later, my mom has always been the one to make connections and just, we have each other's back. I'm so grateful for her. It's like always looking out for each other. If she meets somebody or she winds up saying, "Hey, my daughter, she's been singing her whole life, blah, blah, so she connected me to somebody. I started doing studio work with this producer out in LA. I was going to do some demo work for him. We were going to write together. I was just going to help him with his library. And I was like, you know what? Oh my gosh, I want to help him. But this was like, I need to do my stuff again. What if we do the new Stefanie Michaela and, what's going on? What happened in her life? And this incorporate it to this whole new story. So it kind of got me to where I am now. I started with him. I moved on to another producer as well. It's part of my journey. And then I wound up with my team in Nashville, and we've just hit it off ever since. And now here we are, dropping our single tomorrow.
Well,
So, yeah.
by stepping back, was the music industry a very rude awakening early on that maybe it wasn't what you thought it was going to be?
It was, I think I had very unrealistic expectations. And there were a lot of promises that were made. And I believed them because some of these people that I would meet, they were very, convincing. And I got my family involved, and they, which it was hard because they were in these meetings with me all the time too. And I thought everything was real, and I thought this was what I was meant to do. But because of that, that's when I decided to go, you know what, maybe this isn't for me. I can't have these feelings anymore and be a believer. It really affected my trust, actually. So taking a step back and going this path was what has been wonderful. It's been wonderful to be with my family, have my husband, my family, but passions never die, and they're always going to wind up creeping back. So whether I had this opportunity 2 years ago or not, I kept pushing it down to the point that my kids were like, "Wait a minute, mom, like, how much singing did you actually do? Like, why don't we know about this? Why is your music online and you didn't tell us? Like, what is all of this?" Because I just didn't want to bring it back up again, because I knew that hurt was going to come back, and I just knew it probably wasn't going to happen for me anymore. So I was just trying to find other things to do, which were trying to fill that void, but that definitely didn't work. But
Your story is a lot of what I hear from people, especially in the music business.
yeah.
And people are made promises. Uh,
Hmm.
I talked to an artist just the other day who said, he was encouraged to stay independent, but a lot of
Hmm.
them jump at record contracts because they think that's the thing to do. But the
Yeah.
contract is never in favor of the artist.
Hmm. Right.
Um, and I also understand a lot of people that do have unrealistic expectations,
Correct.
but it's also part of the dream. But you were
Right.
smart by taking a step back and just kind of letting the whole situation just
Yep.
clear itself out a bit, so that way when the
Hmm.
time came, you could really start over. And
Yeah.
recently, I had a very in-depth interview with mega producer Keith Thomas.
Oh, you
So,
did?
yes, what
Yeah.
an amazing man. So, what was it like working with him to produce your new EP?
Oh, that was wonderful. He is such a legend. He's the most down to earth, as you know, person. And he's exactly what I was looking for in a producer. He's got the same kind of vibe as what I love, and who he's worked with. all of all of these icons, everyone that I grew up listening to. So working with him and putting our heads together and really bringing my story to life, he got it right away. And I just starting with Found in You, and this is like literally the foundation of how my new story is coming out, and we're turning the page for this next chapter. I don't think there would have been anyone else that could have had it come to life the way he has. So
So
it was great.
how did you get in contact, or how did the whole meeting happen with Keith?
Through my Nashville team with Dead Horse Branding. They're absolutely incredible. I started working with them, and they connected me to Keith, and they thought that he would be the perfect fit for a pop R&B singer like myself. He really taught me how to bring those lyrics to life, and I do like to over enunciate a lot of times. I'm used to that with musical theater, and so he kind of showed me ways to kind of, even with my mouth, just little techniques like, okay, you don't have to, you could say it with a little bit of, sing it with swag, or do this, or cut this part out, or that. And it was a whole new way of working. It was great. Like, he doesn't let anything slide, which I loved. And we just got it to the place where we're really proud of it.
So you
So
finally had a true mentor.
I had a true mentor that I felt like I could really trust. And that's exactly what I needed coming out of this whole situation from when I was first in the music business. Like, I thought I had great producers back in the day, but what Keith took it to another level. And this made the love for music really, the drive was even more intense. And then I couldn't wait to come back and tell my kids, oh my gosh, you guys have to, I can't wait for you to come with me to Nashville to meet Keith. He's so wonderful, and get in the studio and just see what we do. And we had a lot of fun together too.
Yeah, I mean, with a man that has
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
yeah, with that has sold over 100 million albums, he has the track
yeah.
record.
Totally. Yes. Yeah.
And a lot of
Yeah.
producers don't have that track record.
Oh.
And but for you though, do you have a particular songwriting process, and did you have to change that process working with Keith?
No, because typically, I mean, I'll jot some stuff down that I want to write a song about, but until I really hear a track, or we come up with like a sound that I want, then all of a sudden I'll be like, wait, this is what it needs to be about. This. And then my ideas really flow. Can do it without the track, but I really gets me motivated, and like I can hear something and go, oh, this, yep, that's going to be about this. Ooh, that sounds like a good song about that. And so it was kind of, but it was a really cool process because he came up with these amazing melodies. He's just phenomenal. And then we worked with Stefanie Middleton too, and she's an incredible songwriter. And together we would just really discuss what we've been through in life. She has her relationship. I've been in mine for years. I've been with my husband for years and years and years. And you go through ups and downs, and you're not really sure what's right at the beginning. And that's how this story evolved. And I feel like anyone who listens to it can either apply it to their current relationship, or what they're hoping to have, or what they're unsure about. That's what the song's about, just sticking with something that you don't always know until you really take a step back. I feel like that's kind of with everything,
So, what
and
was
that's
the
what.
whole recording process like for your brand new single "Found in You," which I understand debuts on Valentine's Day?
Tomorrow, yeah, yeah. What was the process? It was great. We wrote for a day, um, and then literally the next day we went back in and recorded the entire song. It was pretty quick. It was great. We just had those ideas, wrote them all out, took a couple hours, took a break. Keith put the track together, came back the next day, and we hustled and got it done fairly quick.
Well, isn't it a plus working with someone like Keith? Because I know Keith can sing. A lot of
Yeah.
producers
Oh, he's so
don't.
good. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
So
He is. Oh,
how big a plus was that?
that was incredible, actually. I mean, not only was he giving me, okay, do sing, do he would demonstrate. Go, wait a minute, your voice. Oh my goodness, he's so good. He really is so good. Yeah, yeah. That does. I've actually never worked with a producer that could sing like that. Like he's solid.
Yeah, I know when because when I had talked to him, because early on in his career he was singing,
Hmm.
and then ended up doing being a songwriter on staff. Got to live in the studio day in and day
Yeah.
out. So
Yep.
he was sharpening and improving his skills. And to me,
Yeah.
that's always been the biggest plus, that if a producer knows how to sing, and with Keith, and we know all the songs that he's produced, he
Right.
would have a better sixth sense, I would say, in the areas of
Totally.
producing than those that don't know how to sing.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And then they're more critical, and that's what you want. You want that constructive criticism because you want to sound your best.
Oh well,
Always.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't? Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah.
have this new EP coming out this
Yeah.
year,
Yes.
Turning Pages. How many
Hmm.
songs are going to be on the EP?
There is going to be five songs on the EP. Yeah. So we've got our first one dropping tomorrow. Our first love song, which will be so great. I'm so excited. We've been waiting a long time, and yeah, we got a few, trickling down until summer when the EP drops.
So you are dropping the EP this summer.
Yeah, yeah, it should be this
Oh,
summer,
well, I
unless something
can't.
changes.
Yeah, well, I can't wait to hear that. And you're going to have to come back so we can talk about the other songs. Now, the whole
Oh yeah,
EP, now with the new EP, with the new 5 songs,
yes.
were all of them, did you co-write all of those with Keith?
Well, we didn't even finish all of them yet, so they're in the works. There's a couple. There's
Ah,
going to be a couple more with Keith, yes, and a couple of different producers. Yes, there's going to be some in LA as well. But I like coming out to Nashville, and my experience with Keith was so amazing that I would recreate it daily if I could. It was just so, it was therapeutic too. Because sometimes you meet people, and then right away there's this connection, and you feel like you can talk to them about anything, which also makes songwriting so amazing with the right person. And just a really cool experience talking about, our life, which creates amazing songs.
it sounds like to me that it completely renewed your passion
Oh,
for
yeah.
music, but even much more than that for you.
Well, what's really crazy is I feel like before I got back involved with music again, I didn't spend my time doing things that fulfilled me in the way that music does. I feel like, I mean, I have 5 kids. Okay. So the 5 kids, obviously, there's a lot that has to be done. But when they're in school is when I take the time to do something that, I mean, for me, before getting back into music, I always work out. I love to work out. That's really enjoyable for me. But there wasn't any other thing that I was really drawn to. So I spent my days doing just, I don't even know. I working out and just doing the regular mom, which I love, but it wasn't, I was looking for something else to fill that until, because I pushed it aside. I'm like, no, music, no, it's not going to work. I don't know the right people right now. I'm just not in the right zone. I didn't want to go down a scary path again and like have my dreams be shattered. So I didn't even really try until a situation was presented to me and I felt like it was meant to be. And I definitely live by things being meant to be and going with your intuition because I think of myself as a like very intuitive person. Sometimes it's almost too much.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. Now I understand that you have 5 children, and did they
yeah,
all come together and kind of give you the extra push to go for it?
totally, totally. Like they're so excited about it and to show their friends and they love watching me perform. Um, my little one loves I have that's where I'm in right now, my little music office. She comes in here all the time and she draws pictures of me singing because I'm always singing in here or writing or whatever. They're just so inspired. It's made them, I think, work harder as well on all the stuff that they love, their after school activities. And I have all sporty kids except for my little one who sits in the office. um, but not she doesn't sing. I mean, she does gymnastics. I mean, that's sports, gymnastics. No, I don't have any singers yet, but they're happy about it to see mom doing something. This is my passion. This is what I'm meant to do. So,
Yeah, I love that. Now,
ah,
if you did
yeah.
a duet, who would be your dream singing partner?
Oh my goodness. I would have to say Babyface. I feel like
Really?
yeah, I would give anything to, yeah, just that. It's got that sound. It's got that really emotional, like, vibe, touching in his lyrics. That's what I'm going for. I'm hoping that I'm portraying that so everyone can hear that that's the sound I want, to get across to everyone. I want feeling, I love when you hear something and you feel a feeling. And
Yeah,
with baby, you feel
I'm with
feeling.
you. Yeah, I'm with you on
Yeah.
that. When I hear somebody sing, I want
Mhm.
you to sell me the story.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I want to hear that. If I want to hear that song on repeat over and over again, you've done something right. Like, it's not just the song, it's the voice. I don't want to hear something that sounds mechanical and just, it's just a song. I want to hear. I think we need to,
Yeah. No,
those
I
emotions.
get it. And you have the best producer who knows how to sell a song. Uh,
Yes.
and like what you had just told us a few minutes ago,
Yeah.
to where he will even say, do this here, try
Hmm.
singing it like this here, because he
Yeah.
knows
Yeah.
that you have to make the story, you have to make the song believable. And when it's
Yes.
believable, people are just drawn in into
Yeah.
the song, and that's what works. Now, with this brand new EP coming out this summer, are you planning on any type of touring?
Well, I have a couple shows coming up. I have one. One was canceled, unfortunately, due to all the fires out in LA, which was everything that's gone on here has been absolutely, absolutely horrible. So we have another show in place of that show that's coming out in May that I'll be doing. But the exciting stuff that we're working on right now with our team is trying to get a big fundraiser going on in LA with the animal shelter, because I'm very to help all the animals. I am such an animal lover, and I know there are so many animals that need our help right now. And a lot of the shelters, they just don't have the funds to take care of all the vet bills and any, costs that just keep coming up and coming their way. So I want to help as much as I can. I literally would take care of thousands of dogs if I could, but I already have not just dogs. I've never had cats though. I would take in cats. I have 3 dogs, so it would probably be hard to get more in here, but I would
Well,
if I could.
well, so then what did happen in LA with all of the animals? Because I know when people fled,
Yeah,
most of the ones that I know took their
yeah.
pets with them. And then there were those that left and either forgot to grab the pet, or they didn't have room and left them behind. So what
I
happened to
know.
the ones that were roaming around? I mean, and maybe with collars.
Well, some of those ones that got out of the fire, I mean, a lot of the firefighters found them and they were at shelters, but a lot of people also that took their animals out, I believe they weren't even able to take care of them right now, so they're at the animal shelter just being cared for there as well until they actually have a home to live in so they can come back and get their animals. So the animal shelters are doing so much. They need so much help. So we're trying to work with them to get a fundraiser going. I want to help as much as possible, but it's so sad to see all those stories of, ugh. And some of the animals were hiding under the beds, and the owners couldn't get to them because they were scared. Just endless stories going on out here.
Oh
So,
yeah, and all of the animals that were roaming the streets, from horses
uh,
to
oh, and
donkeys and deer
no,
and
the horses
everything.
were, no. I have a lot of friends out here that have horses, and they had to take them to all these places just to get them out of this environment over here. Because we were in, I'm not in Palisades, but we had warnings. We got everything ready to evacuate too. We've had to almost evacuate so many times. My kids have been through like so many of these. This was big, but we had a bigger one like a few years ago.
Yeah,
So
I remember the one a few years ago that hit Malibu.
the Woolsey fire is the
Yeah, the
one.
Woolsey fire was
Hmm. Hmm.
awful.
That's the one that was bad for. I mean, closer to us. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad
Yeah.
that you and your family are okay, and I am so happy
Yeah.
that you're doing all that you can to help all of these
Yeah. Of
animals.
course.
And
Of course.
ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen, you got to head over to StefanieMichaela.com for her new upcoming EP this summer, Turning
Yeah.
Pages, but her brand new single debuts Valentine's Day, Found
Yeah.
in You. So check that out, but also go to her website, StefanieMichaela.com, for all of her music, all of her comings and goings. You're going to be a brand new fan the moment you hear her brand new song,
Oh,
Found in You, and make sure that you download it. And when her EP comes out, now with your EP, is it going to be downloadable only, or are you going to be making CDs available, or even maybe a vinyl?
that's possible. Right now, I haven't gotten that far, but I like that idea. So I would love to be able to do that as well.
Yeah,
But
I think that would be awesome. Plus, it gives you something to autograph
yeah,
when they hear you sing.
yeah, I would love that. Yeah, so
Well,
that'll talks to
again, ladies and gentlemen,
thank
StefanieMichaela.com. Brand new song debuts actually tomorrow, which is Valentine's Day, Found in You, and a brand new
yeah.
upcoming EP this summer, Turning Pages. And get ready for that one. And Stephanie, I want to thank you so much for sharing your
Thank you.
story as well as your new music with us today. And much success to you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I loved being here. And I can't wait to see everyone enjoy Found in You.
Hey, I love it. Well, thank you, Stephanie. And for
Thank
all of
you.
you, ladies and gentlemen, who are watching and listening, I'll see you next time.